This is Wesley Moore, and he is the owner and operator of Alligator Alley in Summerdale, Alabama. And Wes is going to tell us about the American alligator that he has here.
Yes, this is one of our alligators we have at Alligator Alley. This is a 4.5-year-old animal. Alligators are found common coastally all the way from South Carolina all through Texas. Imagine, Margaret, if you and I got in a canoe and paddled around, we could probably find quite a few alligators here very close by. This little alligator is about 4.5 years old. When alligators are born, they're only about 7.5 to 8 inches long. So alligators have a lot of predators. They get eaten by a lot of other things. Unfortunately, when they get about 10 feet, they just start eating everything back. One thing I would like to say about alligators is although they are quite docile, they are a very dangerous predator. One thing I like to emphasize to people is, first of all, don't ever feed an alligator. Alligators, his brain is about as big as the tip of your thumb. His stomach is as big as a 55-gallon trash can. So you can imagine what he thinks about all the time. Once alligators start to get fed by people, they start to tend to build associations with people. And being that they have that people association, they tend to lose that natural fear of us. So don't feed an alligator. Always be vigilant with small children and pets, because unfortunately our pets, four-legged furry animals, fit right into that size category of otters and beavers. And unfortunately for the red-bellied turtle, turtles are by far one of the vast favorites of an alligator's diet.
I know that you have an alligator farm, and so you feed your alligators different than what they would eat out in the wild. Tell us what an alligator about this size would eat if it was out here in the river delta.
Outside, this alligator's going to eat a lot of different things. He's going to eat a lot of crustaceans, crawfish, crabs, snakes, frogs, small fish. Juvenile alligators eat a lot of insects. The chitin that actually makes up the insect's exoskeleton is a very important part of this alligator's skeletal development. So basically, he's going to eat whatever he can fit in his grubby little jaws.
And tell us about this particular one that you're holding. I am very grateful that it has its mouth taped up so that it can't, because I'm on the business end of it.
Exactly. Oh, there we go.
And it's starting to slap you in the back with its tail. So
That's
tell us a
right.
little bit about that. How long is it and where'd you get it?
He's just a little camera shy. This little alligator is about 4.5 years old. This is one that I hatched myself at Alligator Alley. Again, when alligators are born, they're only about 7.5 to 8 inches long, so they're about the size of the palm of your hand. They'll get about a foot per year under prime conditions. Now, being that I keep my alligators really well fed, that would be considered a prime condition. So this little guy is right on schedule. The bigger they get, they start to evolve to eating bigger things. In the next couple of years, if this alligator, if he was out in the wild roaming around the marsh, he's going to switch from eating small crustaceans and snakes and frogs to things like beavers, otters, turtles, and other wading birds. This is about the size when they bite, when it really starts to hurt.
Yeah, I don't want to find that out.
You and me both.
One more thing about alligators that I'd like to know. What happens to alligators in the wintertime? I don't tend to see them out in the rivers and things during the wintertime. Where do they go? What do they do?
Well, being a reptile, alligators are not really fond of cold weather. They can have dens and burrows up under the banks. They can use natural disasters to their advantage, like hurricanes, where a lot of these hurricanes blow over these really large cypress trees and pine trees. Alligators can actually get up underneath the root ball of that tree and find a nice deep hole. They can hold their breath for a very long time. When it gets down into the 30s and 40s, if an alligator wants to stay under all day long, he has absolutely no problem in doing so.
I see LG over here with some questions, and we're going to ask Dr. Nelson to step back over here, and we're going to find out some questions. And here you go, LG. What questions do you have?
We have a question from Mrs. Benner, 6th grade at Somerset Intermediate. Do alligators and crocs live in the brackish water together like in the Everglades?
Well, I think that's a Wesley question.
Yes, they do. The Everglades National Park is the only place in the world that the alligator and the American crocodile do cohabit. Now, the American crocodile, he is a highly endangered species, and so their numbers are quite limited. But the Everglades, they do live together quite peacefully. Thank goodness we have no American crocs here in Weeks Bay.
This is from the Pepperell Middle School, Miss Kopp's 8th grade science class. What's the difference between an alligator and a crocodile?
That is the most commonly asked question. The alligator's top jaw is actually much wider than his bottom jaw, and so when the alligator's mouth is closed, you'll see his bottom teeth are not visible because they actually fit in slots inside of his top teeth. The crocodile, on the other hand, has a much more tapered top and bottom jaw, and they are both of equal width. So when the mouth is closed, the bottom teeth, particularly the fourth tooth on the lower jaw, is exposed. That is the greatest difference I can give you, other than maybe some temperament issues.
Here's a question that we may have touched on before, but very quickly, do we have crocodiles in the United States?
Yes, sir, we do. The American crocodile is the largest reptile in North America. Right now, we would find him strictly in the Everglades National Park as far as our territorial range, but that same crocodile does make it all the way down to Costa Rica and Belize.
Okay, and can alligators eat turtles?
Oh,
Unfortunately for the red-bellied turtle, about 80% of an alligator's diet are turtles. A big 10-foot alligator is going to have an average bite force of around 1,800 to 2,000 pounds, and so crushing that turtle shell up is absolutely no problem whatsoever.